I think it was a good game for the fans, entertaining. Lots of goals. Some great goals within the game as well. A couple of PKs. But I thought the game was good from that account. I was happy with how we played in the first half. Not all that happy with all our finishing in the first half. I thought we had opportunities that we need to finish more of, and could have been leading at halftime. For them in the second half, when they brought on basically a new group, their second group played a little quicker, a little more energy than their first group played with, and it took us, I think, about 10 minutes into 10, almost 15 minutes in the second half to catch the rhythm of the game again, because the rhythm of the game in the first half was slower. And with their new group, sometimes, it's guys who are on the bench you don't think they should be there. They're fighting for spots. The energy level came up higher. And, but for a fan perspective, I thought it was a good game, saw some good goals.
Y'all come through healthy?
Yeah, we came through healthy. There's a couple of, we did an Obo. We had talked about, and it felt 60 minutes was what we wanted to go with him. Chad Marshall's just played a lot of minutes this year in Open Cup as well, so we wanted to get him off a little bit and get Jimmy Traore back out there. And then the other changes we just made as the game went along. We didn't have a plan with other guys to say, okay, he can only play this many minutes or something like that.
What do you take away from playing so well against the number 6 team in Europe?
It's like I say. They're at the beginning of their season. The main thing I think our guys and our teams are always interested in is that they respect what we can do as well and that we can play. And I thought our possession in the first half was very good. At times I thought it was much better than theirs. But then they were, against the run of play, they were very clinical. So what do we take away from it? We take away from the fact that we can't possess the ball against a team like that. That we've got to be a little bit better on our finishing, for sure. But also that, on this given day we can compete. And I think the big problem the issue for American teams on that is getting used to competing at that level week after week after week. So once you get into the grind of it, it becomes a little different. It used to be, short story, like when I was a college coach, there would be a team from Division III or II or play a Division I team, and for one given day they could make the game close or equal. And so then those guys would get all excited and they'd say, oh, we can play Division I. But week in, week out, it's a little bit different. But also week in and week out, you adjust to the tempo and the rhythm, and so you find that as you move on. So I think our players showed that, if they got into that week in, week out rhythm and that quality all the time and those atmospheres all the time, that's the other thing you're playing, that we could do okay.
Can that carry over into LA next week?
Everything was about preparation there. We wanted to make sure we got minutes. We kept our rhythm, kept playing. It was good for Oba and Clint to get some time together in the first half. So in terms of preparing for LA, it was good. We got the minutes in that we needed for the starters and, and fitness, able to maintain our fitness.
In that sense of adjusting to the faster rhythm, are you seeing something of that from DeAndre since he came back from World Cup?
Rhythm is different. Sometimes the World Cup, it's funny because people will say, well, it's faster on the international level. It's faster at certain times. It's also slower a lot of times because it's more tactical and more methodical. But then when it goes, it goes. I think their first goal is an example of that. It's very slow and methodical, and all of a sudden it's very decisive and incisive. And so sometimes our overall rhythm of play is faster in MLS than it is, say, at the international level. But then in those crucial moments, are you then decisive enough becomes the big issue. So for DeAndre, I thought he had a good game, except for the one cross that he maybe overhit. He had some good crosses, got forward well, and I thought defensively he did well also.
Special moment at the start of the game was Xander Bailey. What were your impressions of that, and what does it mean to the organization?
It's fantastic for the support, from the ownership on down of the Sounders, for the Make-A-Wish, group, and for Xander Bailey to give him this opportunity. It's just fantastic. I saw the look in his eyes, and you could just tell he was overwhelmed, and he's so appreciative, and it makes for a day that I know he'll never forget. Our guys won't forget it either because it impacts us. We see what it means to him, and being able to help in that regard and be part of that sort of situation is unique and special for us as well.
We've asked you some version of this for a lot of years, but y'all played in front of 120,000 fans this week.
That's pretty good, huh?
Yeah. That's kind of the question. I mean, do you almost, what do you think of that?
Man, Seattle, hats off. You know, I think there's got to be respect, you know, given to our soccer culture here, to our fans who come out, and it's a big motivating factor for us. That's why we want to come out and play well, you know, because they come out and they support us, and you know, and I think you know, I think we've given them a pretty good show the last 2 games, and we want to continue to do that.
Can you talk about what you saw in the third goal? Obviously, some young players involved in that.
Third goal for us, you know, obviously ball played through that, you know, Sean Okoli was able to jump on, a good run from the far side, you know, from Tristan Bowen. He laid a good ball across that Brad couldn't get to. Brad had to respect him, maybe beating him near post. And, you know, so the ball came through and Tristan was there. So at that point in the game, too, we thought we needed a little bit of fresh legs, a little bit of speed. It's one of the reasons we came with Sean up front instead of Weaver. You know, Cam Weaver is a different game. But, you know, you got Kovar out there and you got Okoli out there and you got Bowen. I don't think anybody's older than 22 out of that group. So that was good.
The penalties a concern, or is it all just part of a game like this where changes?
Oh, the 2 penalties. I mean, you know, the first one, we just got the ball played over the back of us, you know, and that's what they were starting to do in that 15-minute period, and that was something that that we, you know, we didn't handle well at the beginning of the second half. The second one, you know, Jimmy Traore makes a great play in the corner, you know, defensively wins it, but then for whatever reason decides not to clear it. We turn over the ball. And then they get through and hits the guy in the hand. I mean, it's going to happen. You know, I mean, you call. For me, it's interesting because I thought we could have had a second penalty in the first half with Lamar Nagel getting pulled down near the end of the first half. But referees will rarely call or give you a second penalty of that type of nature. But then if it's a, you know, handball type of situation, well, that one they have no hesitation calling, because otherwise they get crushed by their evaluators.
Is the skirmish at the end, is that good or bad? I mean,
Is it what?
is it good or bad, the fact that there's a little, you know?
Oh, the skirmish at the
Yeah, it
end?
wasn't a big deal.
Well, it's, you know, it gets lively, you know, and so forth. You know, 2 guys speaking Spanish to each other and, you know, pushing each other around. But, you know, it's like, I think a lot of guys rushed in there because they're mainly trying to get people away, you know, and just get people away. And it wasn't anything with the referee's call or anything like that. And I don't think there's any remnants of it, any bad blood left over.
Any more questions?
Yeah, I want-
Yes.
It was a friendly game. What do you think about the penalty hit Gonzalo Pineda to? It was kind of.
I mean, it's good. He scored it. You know, I mean, everybody, you hit penalties different ways, and you know, Gonzo practices them all the time. I know he can hit them with power. I know he can hit them with placement, and he also is able to do that one. And he picks and chooses which one. So he felt, you know, when he saw, I think, Friedel go a little early, he decided to chip down the middle, and you know, that's maybe, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's Mexico for 2002 against the U.S. little, you know, payback because they were each involved sort of in those situations. So, you know, it was a penalty kick like any other.
Thank you.